The sky above the Adriatic broke crimson as the last drone streaked across the stratosphere like a falling star, burning silent and watched by eyes that thought it was only a game. Jazz stood at alone in a scaffolded rooftop in Old Dubrovnik, wind cutting through his patched jacket, a crude uplink dish humming behind him. Around him, billboards flickered and shifted, hacked, overwritten, reprogrammed. No longer did they stream ads for NeuroAge floss or level boost injectables. Now they pulsed with truth. First came the gameplay, pixel-perfect clips from Dread Zone, Liberty Protocol, kids racking up headshots in tactical cityscapes that looked a little too familiar. Then, snap, reality bled through. Each frame cross-faded to drone cam footage. A boy's perfect double kill synced precisely with a stride on a real shantytown checkpoint. A squad wipe revealed a burnt-out convoy of Red Crescent medics. The layers, points, medals, and celebratory kill chants warped into screams, data logs, and timestamp body counts. A low rumble rose from the city below. Not thunder, anger, disbelief cracking into realization. Jazz tapped a bone mic, speaking to the whispernet. Push Phase 3. In basements, shelters, and VR dens across the Balkans, the Rogue Gamer Guild fanned the flames vidavarta. Encrypted mesh relays bounced the footage faster than any authority could block it. Each second brought new overlays. New overlays. Player handles beside obituaries. Strike coordinates layered with child faces. Reward notifications blinking over funeral footage. The layer was bleeding out into the real. Down the winding alleys of Split City, civilians stared up at the truth. A grandmother covered her mouth. A teen tore his visor from his eyes, vomiting onto the street. Refugee children, too young to have played but old enough to watch, whispered the names of their heroes. Now they're hunters. Obelisk struck fast. Deepfake denials swept the net within minutes. Obelisk's press proxies released doctored interviews, each pixel perfect. Jazz caught laughing about forged footage. Kaya portrayed as a broken, lovesick saboteur. Some showed Jazz partying in Bangkok he'd never been. Others showed him loading explosives into cargo drones. A full-scale identity inversion. Even the layer's trending feed featured a bright red banner. Terrorist gamer exposed. State actors behind attack. But it was too late. The spell was broken. Jazz ducked into the stairwell just as a high-velocity drone burst through the billboard he'd been standing under, its rotors slicing a burst of shattered neon into the night. The blast tore through 2 floors, but he'd expected it. He was already gone, feet slamming each step, heart sinking to the jolt of adrenaline and static. He grinned through the sprint. Nice try, assholes. Below, Kaya coordinated chaos. She sat behind 3 layers of portable jammers in a stolen van lined with Faraday mesh and solar-bonded processors. Her fingers danced across a translucent interface, rerouting fragments of the footage to independent SAT nodes and mesh nets. Next to her, a refugee boy named Luca monitored packet flow with eyes too old for his age. They're black-holing the higher bands, Luca muttered, but we're still seeding through layer proxies. Everyone who's ever streamed a match, they're watching. Kaya didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her face was pale but burning. Every ethical protocol she'd ever written had been co-opted. Now she was rewriting the code in fire. Then came the crowd. In Split, Sarajevo, Skopje, youths poured into the streets. Some wore old gamer jerseys. Others VR headsets flipped back onto their foreheads like armor. They moved not as mobs, but as clans. Factions once fractured, now united. Some carried signs, Game Over, Obelisk, We Were Child Soldiers. Others carried spray cans and stencils, tagging drone depots and bank chain kiosks with kill timestamps and block hashes. A group of old men from the YU Freedom Veterans League joined them, silent and grim. They knew war. They recognized its echo in these children. Back in the van, Jazz caught his breath and watched from a live drone feed, half glitched through his failing implant. They're waking up, Kaya nodded. Now they'll come out for us. And then come they did. Obelisk triggered a protocol labeled Bebe Belvi, and within hours, every layer feed began glitching. Not just the protest footage, everything. Games, news, shopping overlays, even public transit interfaces began to stutter and loop. A boy in Munich found his train route melting into gameplay. A woman in Tokyo saw her groceries replaced by combat gear icons. The world blurred. Layer engineers tried to stem the collapse. They couldn't. The system, too tightly wound around Obelisk's API, was unraveling under the weight of lies. Every attempt to patch only exposed more of the rot. Then came a different kind of signal. Pirate stations, slow-band radio, dead satellites blinking to life. A new voice. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are awake. Jazz's voice. Not live. Recorded, modulated, repeated through ghost nodes and long-range bounce relays. The message played in Arabic, Serbo-Croat, Tagalog, Russian, Swahili, dozens more. Always the same. Obelisk turns you into weapons. You can choose what comes next. For one day, the world was a mirror, and millions didn't like what they saw. Kaya, staring at the wall of feeds, said softly, "It's begun." Jazz leaned back, a grin curling under blood on his cheek. It was always beginning. Outside, the Balkan night burned, not with war, but with truth. And for the first time in a decade, Jazz Cardano felt the game pause. Just for a heartbeat, but the next level was already loading.